everyone. Good morning. Welcome to Connections for Seniors. Thank you for being so timely. We're so excited you joined us. And whether you're in Mystic or Stonington or New London County, I'm Katy Giffault. I'm here on the beautiful wintry white Enders Island. And if you're not from the area, Enders Island is a lovely 11-acre island off the coast of Stonington, and it's linked by a single lane causeway. And our grounds are open 365 days a year. We just ask that you wear a mask and that you observe social distancing. It's especially beautiful in the summer where we have these amazing dahlia gardens. Here's two of the dahlias that we've got. There are 400 different varieties that have been planted here. So to get a sneak peek of what it looks like, you can go onto our website and look at the interactive map, or you can go onto YouTube and just put in Enders Island drone. And there's a really beautiful video of the island from the sky. So if you've been on Zoom before, use the chat box if you have questions, or if you want me to slow down, because I tend to talk too fast. And you'll be on mute until the end of the call, and then we'll leave some time for questions. And if we don't get to all your questions, don't hesitate to put them in the email reply. It's connections@endersisland.org. So again, welcome everyone, and a special shout out to my mom. Hi, Mom. My mom is dialing in from Bristol, Rhode Island, and she has been weathering the pandemic storm so well. She's a role model for our whole family. And really, my mom was one of the many people who was the inspiration for creating this program. And one of the pillars of Enders Island's mission is the virtue of hope. And when you practice hope, you build resilience and you cope better with difficulties. So our goal really is to help you beat the winter blues and make them a lighter shade of blue. So today we have two special guests. And a vaccine update from our first guest. We have news from our library, and these include free programs you can join from remotely from wherever you are. We have some really easy to try home exercises from an awesome, really talented senior fitness instructor in town. We have some new resources for seniors, a reminder how you can get a local ride if you need one. We have a free journal we're going to be giving away, book recommendations, strategies to how to endure the pandemic. And I picked a couple shows I thought you might want to watch, and one of them my mom recommended. So I'm going to cover a lot of resources, but don't worry, you don't have to take notes, because we're going to send you out an email after the call, and it'll have all the links and the resources listed. So I'm here with two guests. We're socially distant. I'm going to introduce them shortly. And because in Zoom, you're going to see me move the computer. So don't worry about it when I'm passing it over to the other side of the room to our guests. So first off, we deeply appreciate, and we wanted to start with thanking the Rotary Club of Mystic and the Pfizer Foundation for their generous support of this program. And it's all about supporting our mental and physical health during the pandemic. And you may not realize this, I didn't until I spent more time with the Rotary, is that Rotary members are volunteers, and they come from all walks of life, all kinds of businesses, public service. And here in Mystic, we have real estate agents, we have teachers, bartenders, small business owners. So it's a really exciting team. And I'm really excited to welcome our first guest, Amy Pisani. And in addition to serving as the Rotary of Mystic president, she is this amazing nationally recognized leader in vaccine education and policy. And she's been the executive director of Vaccinate Your Family for 25 years. She knows her stuff. The organization was actually founded to ensure families receive timely immunizations. She loves Mystic. So she's telecommuted to their Washington, D.C. office from Mystic for the last 15 years. So welcome, Amy, and I'm going to move it over for her.
Thank you so much, Katy. So yes, we are socially distanced in our separate corners of the room. I'm so happy to be here. I am really honored to be the Rotary Club of Mystic president for the current year. And I just want to tell you a little bit about Rotary, because anywhere you are in our nation, in Connecticut or Rhode Island or wherever you are, there's a Rotary Club for you. Rotary started back in 1905 by Paul Harris, and it really is all about fellowship and service above self. But we also have a core mission, and that is to eradicate polio from the face of the earth. I think everybody now sees how incredibly dangerous vaccine preventable diseases can be. We're not done with Rotary yet. We are this close. It's still in just one more country we have to deal with. But when that happens, several years down the road, we won't have to be vaccinated anymore for polio. And I think a lot of folks that are on the call today probably do remember how terrible the polio epidemics were. And they ravaged our country, our world, really. And took the lives mostly of children. It's interesting now we're in this awful pandemic, and the folks who are really being hit by this are a different population, right? It's more of our senior population. But it's really wonderful to see that, we're all working together to make sure that we're all safe from these diseases. So right now I want to talk about Rotary though, and just let you know a little bit about why you might, want to pick up that phone, go online and try to find your local Rotary Club. So the Mystic Rotary Club, we started in 1954. We have several dozen members currently. We have wonderful folks. They've really become family to me. I've been a member for almost 10 years now. And I've come up the ranks. I was vice president, then president-elect, and now I'm lucky to be the president. We have just a great time together. We normally meet every Monday at noon in person. We've morphed just like everyone else, and now we meet via Zoom. And we're working on a lot of different projects. It's kind of as though, if you think about it, sometimes you want to do something, maybe it's overseas. You've always wanted to build a well in Kenya, or you've always wanted to help somebody in Liberia or Lithuania, wherever it is that your passion lies, but you never really quite knew, how am I going to do that? I'm just one person, and I can't travel all the way over there. Join your local Rotary Club. By joining together with the other 1.2 million Rotarians in 200 countries around the world, that's how we make a difference. So, my passion is Kenya. I've been there several times. I've been to Africa several times. I've seen what a difference Rotary makes. Polio is just really ravaging our developing nations. And so Rotary is just seen as a hero over there. And so that's how I got interested in Rotary. But you might be interested in doing something in your local community. And that's where you see our difference every day. A lot of you may know we have the famous Mystic Marathon here, half marathon, and we run it every spring. We also sell these amazing restaurant passports, which are so hard to get now because they're so popular. But the reason we do these fundraisers is really so that we can help support programs in our community. We give away thousands of dollars every year to local community organizations, nonprofits. We've given funds to the No Ink Library, to different shelters, to the Warm Shelter for food programs. And this year, we decided that with what's happening with the pandemic, what can we do to help? And so we wrote to the Pfizer Foundation, and they were generous to give us a grant. And through that grant, we were able to give away a significant amount of money to the Groton Senior Center to help pay for meals for those who in need. We've given money to the Warm Shelter. We've given money to the Visiting Nurses Association. And by doing that, they're able to buy supplies for people in need. And then we gave funds for the Enders Island Seniors Connection Program. So that's why we're here today. I would really welcome you to reach out to me. My email is amy@mysticrotary@gmail.com. And you can really just go to rotary.org anywhere you are, and it will actually tell you exactly the name of your Rotary Club in your area and help connect you. So if you have a passion, if you want to offer service above self, join your club. And the final thing we're doing right now, and I was talking about my passion is Kenya. I have a good friend who's living in Kenya now. The Rotaries of Connecticut gave away millions and millions of masks to first responders throughout our state. And they've given me 20 boxes, which is going to be about 30,000 masks, and they're going to be shipped to Kenya. And our club is helping fund the shipping. So we're going to be helping people in Kenya who don't have masks. So that's just a little, my personal passion, and everyone has a passion, and we'd love for you to join us. So thanks for having me today. And I look forward to the rest of the session.
Thank you. We have one more thing to talk about. Hold on one second. Back to Amy.
Oh, the world of Zoom. I thought Katie was going to make another intro for my other world that I work on. So in my business life, I have been really, truly lucky to work in Vaccinate Your Family. And so what's that all about? So we're a national nonprofit organization, and we've been around for 30 years. This is our 30th anniversary. Our founder is former First Lady Rosalind Carter and Betty Bumpers, who was the wife of Senator Dale Bumpers. So why does this matter? We're in this awful pandemic. So what are we doing now? I'm fortunate to, again, be able to telecommute from Mystic. I normally go to DC on a regular basis. We work with Congress. We've been trying to help get those funds that you're all hearing we needed in order to help deal with the pandemic. That's been our biggest challenge. So today I just want to mention 4 things. I know we're all really interested in what's happening with COVID, right? Where are we going to get our vaccine? So I would just say 4 things right now. First of all, if you live in Connecticut or even Rhode Island, I want to tell you that we are doing really well compared to the rest of the nation. The access to the vaccines is really complicated, and you're seeing on the news there's really not enough vaccine yet. I know Pfizer and Moderna are working as fast as they can. If you've been vaccinated already, my point number 1 is I'm so grateful. I'm so glad you've been able to do that. Signing up is not the easiest thing to do. Talk to your provider, go on the website. You can come to vaccinateyourfamily.org, and Katie will share our email, our address later. You can find the information for whatever state you're in. So if you want to sign up, we've listed them all out. So if you've been vaccinated, I want to just let you know, 1, you have to continue wearing a mask. It's really hard to deal with. It's hard to understand why, but until we get 70 to 75% of our community vaccinated, you're not protected because the vaccine's only 95% effective. It's the same thing with measles. It's interesting, when it comes to measles, which was the most infectious disease that we were dealing with, a person who is unvaccinated is safer going into a room of fully vaccinated people than a person who was unvaccinated who would walk into a room with people who were not vaccinated. So what does that mean? It's so contagious that even though you're vaccinated, if you're surrounded by unvaccinated people, you can still get the disease. So please just continue to wear your mask. I've seen several seniors and I've asked them and they've said they've been vaccinated. And I have to say, look, you've got to protect yourself and your community. The second thing I would say is if you've been vaccinated and you want to help others, think of a senior that you know that doesn't know how to use the internet. They just don't have access or they can't really navigate that system. It's complicated to get signed up. So try to help them. See if you can, reach out or have your grandkids reach out and say, look, let me help you sign up and let me help you get that appointment that you need. And offer to drive them. A lot of people don't have a way to get to their appointments, and that's really a problem that's happening across the nation, and it's really heartbreaking. So, think about ways that you could offer your services there. And then get your routine vaccinations. During this pandemic, people have stopped getting vaccinated. Seniors need to make sure they have their annual flu vaccine, their pneumococcal vaccination to help them avoid pneumonia. You need a vaccine called Tdap to help you from getting tetanus, but mostly whooping cough, and shingles vaccine. I had shingles last year because I did not get vaccinated when I turned 50, and it was awful. And it can be a lot worse. I was one of the lucky ones. So make sure you get your shingles vaccine. And then make sure you tell your kids that the grandkids need to get vaccinated. We're really far behind in vaccinating children in our nation. And right now we're about 1 million doses behind on getting kids HPV vaccine, which means they may get cancers when they grow up. So come visit our website. It's vaccinateyourfamily.org. We have Q&As on everything you possibly want to know about COVID, where to go, what it means to get vaccinated, what would be the side effects, how do you deal with fevers. And we're just really happy to answer any questions you have. You can reach me also in my work world at amy@vaccinateyourfamily.org. And I'm saying that because I can see in the chat somebody's asking me for my email. So thanks, Katie. That was a lot for me, but I just want to mostly welcome you all. What an amazing opportunity. And I'm going to watch all of these. And I have my, my aunt and uncles watching too. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Amy. And as she mentioned, we're going to send a link out with the email that comes out right after this call, and it'll have all of those connections that Amy just mentioned. So thank you. That was so informative. I learned a lot, and I really want to learn more about Kenya and how I can help. So I'll be giving you a ring. Thanks so much. So she's busy. She's got to run off. So if you see the door behind me open, it's because she's on her way. So our next guest is brand new to Mystic. She's Christine Bradley. She's the new executive director of the Mystic Noank Library. She previously was the director of the Norwalk Public Library and the Connecticut Library Consortium. Not only was she the past president of the Connecticut Library Association, but twice she's received their Distinguished Service Award. And many of you may be familiar with the One Book, One Region program. And Chris was really instrumental in founding that from our friends down in southeastern Connecticut. And what I loved reading about Chris, and when I met her, I could tell, she really walks the walk and the talk. She believes in service to the community and she practices it. She was on the town council in Wethersfield, on the Norwalk Arts Commission. So we are really lucky here in Mystic to have her. And I think you'll be excited to hear about some of the programs she's thinking about for the future. And again, for all of you that aren't in the local area, I'm going to come back when Chris is done and tell you about some virtual programs at the library that you can access from wherever you are. And I know I have some friends on the call today from Minneapolis. So hi, folks. It's much colder there than it is here. So I'll be back in a minute to talk about those programs and welcome Chris. And I'll turn my computer over again, so hopefully don't get too dizzy. And then I'll also talk about 3 great book recommendations. So here you go, back to Chris.
Great. Oh, very smooth. Thank you so much, Katie, for that warm introduction. I'm happy to be here and to talk about the library. It's a tough time for libraries. It's a tough time for all of us. Our mantra in these months is that we're reopening slowly but safely. So right now, what we're offering is a 3-pronged approach to serve you. The first one is probably the easiest. Go to our website, mysticandnoanklibrary.org, and look in the catalog, request a book or several books, and then we will have those ready for you at the library. We have a nice entrance where you can go in contact free, pick up your book in a bag, which will be checked out for you, and that's that. The second piece of it, we will be expanding, and that's coming into the library by appointment. We found that we were able to do programs which have been well received and offer books, but many people, especially local to Mystic, really need to use computers, copiers, scanners, faxes, all of those business machines that we don't all have in our own home because we know we can go to the public library and use them. So we're asking you now to make an appointment to do that. And every hour on the hour, people are in doing that, as well as browsing the collection themselves. I know some people can know just what they want to read and go in the catalog and choose it, but I'm a browser myself, so I understand, sort of want to look and see what's there. So those are 2 of the ways where we're trying to serve you. And the next is what Katie referenced, are the online programs. And we're fortunate to have Eric Caswell and Roberta Donahue at the library, who have given us a really very rigorous program, from everything from cooking, which has been popular, to crafting, to more traditional library programs, author talks, book clubs, and the like. And as Katie said, they're all available online. We do those through Zoom, like we're doing this program, and you can sign up. one additional book club. We have many book clubs actually, which is great. People like to read, they like to talk about what they've just read. We're starting a new book club with the YMCA, and our first book will be Splendid and the Vile, which I chose just because it's a page turner really, even though it's nonfiction. It's about London during the Blitz. So there are lots of interesting personalities. There's, of course, Churchill and then the German High Command and the Churchill's family, but Harry Hopkins from the Roosevelt administration. So there was a lot going on politically as well as militarily. But why I chose it is because it reminds me of what we're going through now. We're going through things that are not normal for us. And it's like these Londoners, they were sleeping in shelters every night. Life had been turned upside down. Ours is a little different because we're forced more into isolation. They were still in groups, but home life is just totally different. And as I was reading it, I thought of what we're going through. So keep that in mind. It will be called Books Sandwiched In, and it will be the last Tuesday of every month at noon. So check the Coastal Wise website for that information and to sign up. And again, I'm so happy to be here in Mystic. I'm fortunate enough to have found a darling apartment right on West Main Street, so I can walk to the library, although going straight up that hill is a challenge, part of the reason why I've joined the Y. But anyway, I hope that there'll be a time soon enough when I can meet some of you in person and we can get back to the new normal. So thank you all, and thank you, Katy, for the opportunity. Back to Katy.
I have to give a shout out to my husband who made me a little Zoom desk that makes it easy for me to turn the computer around. So it's a little step up from a lazy Susan, which I was working with, which was really a little too disorienting for people. There was a question, I want to answer it now. We are going to send out a recording from this link. You may have seen it does say recording in the top left corner. And the recording will only have the people that are speaking. So if you're worried that you might be seen on camera, you won't. It'll be really just the guests who were speaking and myself. So I think Marie asked that question, Marie. So in the email that comes out after this call, the link will be there for the recording. So the next couple of things I want to talk about are about the library. And the first one actually begins tonight on Zoom, and it's open to anyone, anywhere, and it's absolutely lovely. It's called Drawing to Destress, and it's based on a study from Drexel University that drawing actually, regardless of your ability, releases stress-reducing hormones. So it's really easy to sign up and register for their site. It's at 6 o'clock tonight. I signed up. I like to doodle. I have zero talent, but I would really like to learn more. So one of the things the library did was they made a little kit, which is this bag that I picked up. It's a contactless pickup. So you go into the Ames room and they have the bags there, and they have lovely unlined journals and colored pens and pencils and erasers, and a lovely little guide for drawing tips on how to crosshatch, how to do parallel lines, stippling and blending. They're really just the basics. So I encourage you to sign up for tonight if you want to learn how to draw to de-stress. And if you're not in the local area, like my friend Katy in Minnesota, you can use really any book, any pens and pencils, crayons, and join. And a shout out to Eric Caswell, who created this program. I know everybody who's going to be on tonight will be really happy to doodle. So again, if you can register and stop by the library today, it's all contactless pickup. So next program to help with the winter blues has got a great name. It's called Clams. Now, it's on Monday nights, but it's not about seafood or making clams casino. It's classic literature at Mystic. and it's for readers who want to learn about classics and literature. It's the second and fourth Monday of every month, and again, it's free for anybody. And the first book they're discussing is To the Lighthouse by Virginia Woolf. So if you like classics and you want to connect, sign up on their website. And that link will be in our email as well. And Chris brought with her today one of my favorite books this season. I want to share it with you. And it's for all those bird lovers out there. So it's called What It's Like to Be a Bird. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's by David Sibley, and it's about how birds fly, nest, sing, what they're doing, and why. It's beautifully illustrated. It's got amazing facts. In fact, there are 3,000 5-star reviews on Amazon. And I started reading it. I had no idea how many different functions there are for feathers. So if you're looking for a book that's really going to help you learn more about your backyard birds or birds that you hardly ever see, check it out. So the second book is called Wintering. And this is actually, it's become a bestseller, and I have a feeling it's probably because we're in the middle of a pandemic, because it's Wintering, the power of rest and retreat in difficult times. And we're certainly in difficult times. And one of the reasons why I really picked up this book was the reviewer on the back said, "This book is the equivalent of a perfectly timed hug. You didn't realize how much you needed. It's like a warm blanket on a cold day." And she writes a very personal story about how she came to care and repair when life knocked her down in a couple of different ways. So I have a feeling that's probably why it's a bestseller. And the last book, actually, I wanted to talk about came out quite a few years ago. And if you didn't read it, you may want to pick it up again, or even if you did read it, it's worth reading again. I found it amazing. It's The Mayflower by Nathaniel Philbrick. And I checked, there are over 10 copies across our 3 libraries here. And if you're from out of town, it's probably in your library too. And it obviously starts with the voyage of 1620, but it doesn't end there. It spans 55 years following remarkable detail about our first settlers. I was amazed how much I learned that I didn't know, or myths that were debunked. In fact, Charlotte, thank you for the shout out. She mentioned she read it and loved it as well. So those are 3 books to consider. And now I have a request for all of you at home. One of the things we do in our family, I'm from a large family and we all love to read, thanks Mom, is that we are always sharing with each other what we've just finished, or what we listened to on Audible, or what we are waiting for one sibling to pass on to another sibling. I'd love for you to send me either in the chat today or reply to our email what favorite books you've read during the pandemic. What's helped you kind of get to the lighter blue of the winter blues. So next call in February, I'm going to share that with everybody else on the call or who are receiving the email. So please think about that and let us know. So the last thing on this unpaid public announcement about the library is there's another free service at the library, and that's personal phone appointments for tech support. If you don't have teenagers in your home like I do, where I can call and say, how do I get this? Or what do I need to do to understand that? Or what does this symbol mean? Next month, Eric Caswell from the library will be our guest to answer questions on tech. And you can also go on their website and make an appointment for a phone call. So questions like, what's a browser? I recently wanted to know how I could open multiple windows. So send us your pressing questions and we'll be sure to include them. It is really complicated. Even changing passwords to me is really a challenge because it has a lag effect on how many other things is that going to affect when I change a password. So send us your pressing questions and we'll cover that in February. So switching things up a little bit, I'm sure you've all heard over and over again the benefits of exercise. So it's worth repeating. Physical activity improves your mental health. It releases your endorphins, your feel-good hormones. It improves your sleep, flexibility, balance, helps improve your immune system. So we're so fortunate to have one of the senior wellness instructors from the Ocean Community YMCA 9th branch, the very talented Marion Dodd, prepared for us, especially for this program, a series of easy exercises you can start at home. Marion is a long-term Stonington resident. She's worked for the past 12 years as a certified AFAA fitness instructor. But amazingly, she is so talented. She's also an award-winning artist and illustrator. She's written 2 children's books, and you can find her paintings at the Finer Line Gallery in downtown Mystic. So she's prepared a different video each month, and you don't need special equipment. In fact, if you don't have weights, because that's one of the things she used, you can use bags of beans, or you can take your favorite soup cans or beans and you put them in socks because you don't want to drop it and break a toe. And you're going to add more cans as you add more weight and use those if you don't have any weights, because actually if you've tried to go out and buy weights, they're all sold out. They don't have them anywhere. So Marion's going to cover balance, core, stretching, and more. And you can watch it all on YouTube. Here's a really short preview so you'll know what it looks like when you see it. Here's Marion with some weights. You can see my beans there right next to her. And she's also got a class at the Mystic Community YMCA. So if you want to sign up for her class, that's another thing you can consider doing. But again, you can do it all at your own pace. Each segment's about 10 minutes long. So I encourage you. So let's see. Another idea, again, this is to help those winter blues. On YouTube, there is some amazing music tracks, and we found one we really liked. It's called Morning Relaxing Music for Positive Feelings. It's free. It's got this beautiful, peaceful, calming energy. We're going to send the link in the email. I would play it over Zoom, except that would violate YouTube, and I don't want to violate YouTube standards. But I think you'll be really moved by it. I listen to it often, and I turn off the news and turn this on, and it really changes your whole mindset. So send me a note in the email and let me know if you like it, and I'm going to include more next month as well. So another thing we wanted to share with you is a terrific local resource. You heard Amy mention that if you need a ride to get to your vaccine appointment or any other medical appointment, or to get to a pharmacy, the wonderful Pawcatuck Neighborhood Center will see if they can help you with free rides for seniors. And that's in the Mystic, Stonington, North Stonington, and Westerly area. And if you need a wheelchair assistant, their van is wheelchair adapted. You can call them. And again, this number will be in the email, but their main number is 860-599-3285. And you're going to hit extension 108. And Barbara Courier, thank you so much, Barbara. We'll see if they can help. And again, I'll put that number in the email so that if you need a ride, they'll see how they can help you out. So I found another resource, and this is for the science buffs. If you're not the bird watcher, but you like science, the Museum of Science in Boston has daily live streams, and they're free. They're so interesting. I've listened to about 4. And in fact, today at 3:30, the program is their top 10 science stories from the last 12 months. It's at mos.org. Again, we'll put it in the email, and it's free, and you can tune in and see what the topics are. It's on their homepage, so it's really easy to find. So I would also encourage you, if there are other websites or other live streams that you've been watching, our whole point with this program is to create connections with all of you. So if there, again, there's something you want to share with other folks, we'd love to be able to do that. Another thing that as we were doing our research on what are the best things to adopt for well-being, there was a lot of information about how some of the new habits to adopt. One item that kept coming up in every piece of data I looked at was using a journal. So we wanted to help with that activity. So with some generous help with our friends from ABC Photo, we've created a Connections for Seniors journal that they're going to print for us. And our friends at Ravis Real Estate are going to be giving us pens to give away if you're in the area. And some of the ideas, in fact, Amy was mentioning earlier that one of her uncles had an amazing life story that he and his grandchildren have been working on in his journal, that his relatives had no idea about some of the history that was in his life. And it might be your own history that your young relatives might not know much about. In our family, when my kids see that their great-grandfather helped rebuild Japan after the war, or that they were visiting Paris for this amazing event, it's so exciting to them to know that. They had no idea. It could be that you want to write about your favorite family tradition and why that's a favorite tradition. Write down some of your favorite recipes. That could be really wonderful to pass on to folks. My mom has recently been mailing me recipes that she really wanted to make sure that we tried because we were doing a lot of cooking in the pandemic. So with the giveaway, we'll let you know when the printing is finished, and we'll have these books at the library, at the Y, at our office here on Enders Island. And again, we're going to make sure it's contactless pickup. You won't have to do anything other than come in and grab one and some pens. But we're going to send you an email when they're available because the lovely folks at ABC Photo are still printing them up. But if you're not from the area, any kind of notebook will work. So I'm going to stop there and ask in the chat if there's anybody that has been journaling or there's anybody that has found other ways to pass the time in the pandemic in isolation. I know my mom's actually been quilting masks that our whole family has benefited from. So I'd love to see if you have some ideas. In fact, one person said they've learned and utilized the treasure of book boxing in our neighborhood. So if you've seen a book box in your neighborhood, it's where you can give a book and take a book. Oh, my neighbor and I, this is another person, made preemie hats for the Yale New Haven Hospital. That's lovely. My kids were all preemies, so those hats are great. Those of you that know me know I have triplets, so they were really tiny. And I think a few people I know have been knitting things as well for different shelters. So anybody else who has things they want to share of how they've been able to either use journals or pass the time, we'd love to share. So if you don't get a chance to put it in the chat and you want to put it in the email, that would be great. So let's see, let me pan over here. Several people are multitasking and again asking me if this will be recorded, and it will be on YouTube. Everything we're talking about, we're going to include in the email link that we're going to send out. I also want to encourage you all, if you want to come up to Enders Island to our office, we have the flyers that have been posted around town that helps other people know about it. So if you want to send it to your friends as an attachment, let me know and I'll send you the attachment, or you can come get the actual flyer. A shout out to Groton Long Point, because I know there's a number of people from Groton Long Point that have done a really great job letting their folks know about it. And it looks like Sandy bought some crochet hooks and she's learned how to crochet, and she learned it from a YouTube video. That's awesome. Thank you, Sandy. Another person said Yale University has a great archive of Holocaust survivor stories, and she's going to send that link so that I can share it with everyone. Thank you so much. I can't tell from your code what your first name is, but whatever it is, that was a lovely idea. Appreciate that. So one of the things that I also wanted to do was send you and give you a couple of ideas of things to watch as an alternative to the news. So this is another one my mom gave me a really big thumbs up for, and it's on PBS. So hopefully your cable channel will have PBS. It's actually an old series, but it has a lot of new episodes. And it's called All Creatures Great and Small. It's set in the 1930s, and it follows a village veterinarian through his daily life. I watched it this past Sunday, and it was great. It was the struggles, the pain, the joy of all the different characters in this village who need help. So that's on at 9 p.m. on Sundays, All Creatures Great and Small. Sandy also tells us I've been doing a lot of walking and hiking, and she's going to send us the app to help you find trails and keep hiking records. It's called All Trails. There is a great Netflix movie out. A few people have said this to me too. If you have Netflix, it's called Fisherman's Friend. Oh, Amy's telling us it's her favorite book and her favorite book series. So thank you so much. And let's see, Charlotte has also been making scarves. And she's learned how to make snowflakes, and one for her grand, who turns 18 today. That's awesome. Another person has been looking at Bible studies and books, and Tubi TV is free. That's true. So the next show I wanted to recommend that you watch, I'm not a football fan, so I'm always looking for other things to do on Super Bowl Sunday. So this Super Bowl, which if you didn't know, is Sunday, February 7th, and it's called the Puppy Bowl. And the Puppy Bowl this year has decided to focus on rescue puppies. So there are 70 rescue puppies that are being voted onto a couple of different teams. Team Rough and Team Fluff. I'm from a family of dog lovers, so we have grown up with a lot of dogs. We have a lot of dogs. My siblings have all got dogs, so we're real dog lovers. So you can go onto the site and you just Google Puppy Bowl 2021, and you can see the profiles of all of the 70 puppies. They're actually asking you to vote on who you think should be on which team. When you're looking through them, look for Tina and Duke. Those are the ones my kids and I picked out as our favorites. They happen to both be on Team Rough. So I think it's a great alternative to football, is spending time with pets. There's also information on how you can adopt a pet, which a lot of people have done in the pandemic. So I wanted to tell you that one of the things that we're looking at, and if you're interested in it, actually, Trish is telling me from Niantic that she's been painting rocks and shells with happy faces and hiding them in park benches. Oh, that's so sweet, to bring joy to people. You can keep the rocks or the shells, or move them in different parts or public areas. Thank you so much, Trish. That's wonderful. And another suggestion is looking at the Fortunoff video archive for Holocaust testimonies. That's beautiful. Thank you for that. So one of the things we're going to be looking at are, for the next month's Zoom, are senior shopping discounts. There are a lot of shopping discounts that you may not be aware of that we've been doing some digging. So we're going to talk about shopping discounts. I mentioned that Eric Caswell from the library is going to be on our next Zoom to help this community connect. And if you have any questions ahead of time, please let us know so Eric can be prepared. And we would really love your ideas, because this is all about connecting to help you. And really, to beat the winter blues, we've all got to beat it together. If there's one thing the pandemic has shown, is that we really, we need to be creative, we need to be kind, and that's what we're really trying to do with this program. And Sandy said she found a Facebook group for the Kindness Rocks, Trish. It's called 860 Rocks. Thank you so much. That's a great idea. Would that be amazing if every time you went to a park, you found a beautiful, thoughtful message. Another suggestion is the aarp.org, which is a great resource, and you earn points apparently for free items and games. That's awesome. As we get closer to spring, we're also going to I'm working on getting some free herb seeds from our local greenhouses to be able to hand out and help us all grow some herbs that we can use. And one of my sisters, shout out to Amy, hi Amy, has got an amazing little greenhouse in her house in New Hampshire, and she's got gobs of herbs and lettuce. It's crazy. So I think it'd be a great idea to try and figure out how to get some seeds to all of you and start it. So here is my husband said I would walk around and use them and leave them around town. It looks like a lot of people are painting rocks and clamshells. That's great. That's a great idea. So again, a special call out to the Pfizer Foundation, to the Rotary of Mystic, and again, as Amy said, look on their website, volunteer. I know there's some Rotarians on this call today, so thank you so much. We really appreciate the support. Thank you to Chris. So helpful to learn more about the library and what it's offering. And Marion, when you watch her first 10-minute video is already out on YouTube. And we'll include that link. It'll say Enders Island Senior Connections Video 1. If you want to start at the end of this call, it's great, 10 minutes. I did it last night and it was wonderful. Eleanor's telling us a favorite book about the library is the library book. I never realized how much goes on inside. Well, thank you, Eleanor. That's a great idea. We also have an amazing team here at Enders Island. Shout out to Deb and Jacinta and Mark, who's here, making sure this all runs smoothly. Tanner and Dan. It's everything from extension cords to notes to tell me to slow down because I can talk too fast. So really, thank you so much to the team here. We do have time for more questions if you want to send them in on the chat or you want me to unmute you. We're also working on, some other guests for our February Zoom. If you want to note it on your calendar, it's February 24th. Again, these meetings are always the last Wednesday of the month. So make sure you note that, and I'm certain our journals will be printed by then. Eleanor's got another great book. Thank you, Eleanor. The Code Girls of Paris and the Code Breakers are about the women of World War II behind the scenes. Oh gosh, I'm trying to remember the name of that awesome movie that was about that as well. Charlotte's saying, so nice to get together. Thank you. Enders has been a lifeline through COVID, lots to do. Yeah, if you come on the Enders site too, there are a lot of other programs that you might want to participate remotely. So don't hesitate to do that. And again, this entire call will be linked on YouTube this month. And so don't hesitate when the weather gets a little nicer and it's not as cold, to please come out and visit, walk our grounds. We'd love to see you. Stop by the office. You'll be able to pick up some flyers. There's some beautiful spaces to contemplate the beautiful ocean we have out here. And you can see on a clear day, Watch Hill. So another person has said bibliomation from online books from various libraries. Yeah, actually one of my sisters does, always is talking about how she accessed that. So if you like reading books online, that is an awesome source for any of the three that I've mentioned or ones that other people have mentioned. So let me know if you want to raise your hand and I'll take you off mute. Any thoughts, comments? Love to hear them all. Let's see. Is anyone asking me to unmute them? I will do that. let's see. Let me go. How about my sister, Amy? Let's see. She's right there. Or does Kathy have an ask? Or Amy? Let's go to, I'll keep scrolling. Oh, Mark's helping me out here. We're also getting another note that hundreds of colleges offer free courses via Coursera. This person just took Classical Music 101 by a Yale professor for free. Wow, that sounds amazing. Classical music, something I know very little about. So let me scroll back up. So if I unmute her, nope, she's not on the call. Let's see. So actually, I should just end the call. Okay. So that's it, everybody. Be safe. Go on to all the different resources that we're going to attach in the email. We'd love to hear from you. And again, we are very flexible in what we can do and bring in the months ahead. I'm hoping that the winter blues are a lighter shade of blue. So be well, be careful, don't slip on the snow today. And thanks for all the comments and the support.